2017 BMW M4 caught by Alpha in performance. The BMW E90 M3 caught was produced in such low numbers, only 67, that finding one on the road these days is a miracle. The M3 caught was also historic in a lot of ways because it was the last M model that used a naturally aspirated engine before BMW transitioned to forced induction engines. So with history and exclusivity on its side, it's difficult to get your hands on an actual M3 caught. German tuner Alpha in performance doesn't exactly have one itself, but it could have the next best thing. A program for the BMW M4 that adopts a lot of the characteristics of the M3 caught, right down to the aerodynamic and power improvements that give the sports coupe 520 horsepower. Granted, some people may point at the recently unveiled BMW M4 CS as a descendant of the M3 caught, making it a perfectly capable alternative to its supposed predecessor. While there may be some thin truths to that, the M4 CS, as Dear Old Pops points out, isn't so much a capable, track-focused M4 as it is an overpriced M4 that tries to convince you of its exclusivity simply because it's carrying the CS name. Alpha in performance isn't trying to hide anything with its M4 caught program though. The use of the caught badge may be off-putting to actual owners of the limited edition M3. But give credit to the German tuner for embracing its program in giving the coupe the aftermarket modifications it feels is worthy of the caught badge. Exterior. Beyond its outright historical significance and outright exclusivity, the BMW M3 caught became so sought after because it represented the last vestige of the M3 that drew its power without the technical sophistication of a forced induction mill. That and the coupe also looked the part of a limited edition ride. Right down to the presence of the reworked front splitter, lighter front hood and the use of carbon fiber reinforced polymer CRT on the entire body of the car. Alpha in performance didn't exactly go that same specific route with its M4 caught build, but it did use carbon fiber parts for the aerodynamic kit, specifically the front splitter and rear spoiler. The latter in particular has some caught-likeness to it, as its addition helps add 117 pounds of downforce to the coupe at speeds reaching 124 miles per hour. Rounding out the tuner's exterior package for the M4 caught is a new set of 20-inch gold-finished HRE wheels wrapped in Michelin PSS tires. Care for an alternative body kit. Alpha in performance is objective in giving the M4 a caught treatment may have handcuffed it in being more aggressive with its aerodynamic body kit. If customers are looking for a more dynamic-looking M4 with hanging bits and pieces, carbon fiber dynamics treatment of the coupe is an interesting alternative. The exterior upgrades included in the red program came with an MTC design hood, a new front bumper and rear wing from 3D Design, side skirts from Varis, and a 56 degrees Nord carbon roof box that the tuner says were tested at speeds of up to 186 miles per hour. The tuner also BMW's red, blue, and purple livery running throughout the body of the coupe. Another option to consider is fellow German tuner Lightweight. For its program for the M4, Lightweight relied on its own albeit similar mix of aerodynamic components, particularly a new front spoiler blade and a carbon rear wing. Interior. Some people may have forgotten this, but for all of BMW's intent in turning the M3 caught into a track-focused sports car, it still kept most of the M3's interior intact instead of stripping them down in the name of weight savings. In fact, Bimmer even gave the M3 caught front and individual rear seats dressed in Sakura orange and black bicolor covers, an Alcantara-covered M steering wheel and exclusive dorsal strips, door panels, and trim strips made from an aluminum grain structure. Even the just-released BMW M4 CS received plenty of exclusive features, not the least of which include lightweight M Sport seats wrapped in leather and Alcantara, as well as compacted natural fibers on the door panels and Alcantara inserts on the dashboard, center console, and steering wheel. By comparison, Alpha N Performance's interior upgrade program for the M4 Court is largely more subdued, with the only notable change being the inclusion of new Recaro pole position sports seats that take the place of T standard seats. That's the extent of Alpha N Performance's work on the M4's interior, which is admittedly a little disappointing. Ironically though, the fact that Alpha N Performance even went with Recaro sports seats is a significant change in it of itself, considering that most of its peers in the aftermarket scene rarely include interior upgrades as part of the programs. BMW Individual is the way to go. The notable attention paid to the M4's interior by tuners can at least be explained by the growing popularity of personalization divisions. The German automaker's BMW individual personalization division counts itself as one of the best in the business, and there is good reason for that. It offers a wide menu of options, accessories, and packages that customers can choose from. One particularly cool example is the BMW M4 Pyrite Brown Edition, which the company unveiled back in 2015 as an Abu Dhabi exclusive. A quick example of the scope of BMW Individual's capabilities was on full display in the M4 Pyrite Brown Edition. That special edition M4 received optional Sonoma beige merino fine grain leather for the seats and the door panels, and the Individual sycamore red-brown fine wood trim. Black leather surfaces were also notable features of the special edition M4, as was the contrast stitching spread throughout the cabin. Drivetrain. Here's another interesting aspect about Alpha N Performance's BMW M4 Court program. As much importance as it placed in living up to the E90 M3 CRT's legacy, it may have shortchanged the coupe into getting more power than it otherwise did. To be clear, the tuner's upgrade still amounts to a healthy increase of close to 100 horsepower for a total of 520. That's compared to the standard model's 425 horsepower output. Torque numbers also increased to 501 pound-feet, 95 pound-feet more than the standard M4's 406 pound-feet of torque. Alpha N Performance achieved that thanks to a Stage 1 engine software upgrade that the tuner actually presented all the way back in 2014. Remember this one. Only Alpha N Performance knows why it didn't opt for its more powerful Stage 2 or Stage 3 power kits. But whatever its reasons are, the decision to go with the Stage 1 kit leaves the M4 Court a little lacking. Plenty of other options to choose from. Fortunately, the BMW M4 is a pretty popular car in the aftermarket tuning world, so there are plenty of other tuners to go to in case the Alpha N's M4 Court doesn't cut the mustard. G-Power, for example, has presented multiple iterations of its tuning kit for the M4, most of which use the tuner's Bitronic 2v3 tuning module as its backbone. Not only was this module able to provide bespoke upgrades for the M4's twin-turbo 3.0-liter straight-six engine, those same upgrades amount to 600 horsepower and 610 pound-feet of torque. Another tuner, B&B Automobile Technic, also has a multi-stage tuning kit on the table that comes with modifications to the turbochargers to go with its own EQ upgrades. With these upgrades, the tuner was able to get as much as 580 horsepower and 533 pound-feet of torque out of the M4. Then there was Carbon Fiber Dynamics, which created one of the most impressive tuning programs for the M4. At the center of the kit was a pair of TTE6XX turbochargers running 2.3 bars of boost pressure that worked in concert with a methanol injection kit and Berger Motorsport JB4 tuning module to help the six-cylinder engine reach 700 horsepower and 634 pound-feet of torque. It's unclear if Alpha N Performance could have topped those numbers with its more powerful stage kits. But the decision to go with the least powerful of them translates to an underwhelming power increase.